All right, week 3 of my resolution to do daily art studies. I think I only missed one day this week. Um, so yes, very exciting. This has actually been really fun. I've taken some of you guys' feedback and I have like a list of things that I can talk about while these videos play. Because I don't want to get like sidetracked or just start like rambling to myself, even though it is fun. None of this is scripted. I just have a screenshot of things that I think would be fun to talk about. And I also was reading my comments, and a lot of you guys are still in high school and are using me as inspiration for pursuing art in the future. So I wanted to talk about what I was like in high school and how that's shaped me to be who I am today as an art student. Back in high school, I was a D1 weirdo. Um, I wasn't like, I wasn't outwardly weird. I wasn't outwardly anything really. I mean, I didn't talk much. I didn't put myself out there, but I was like the labeled art kid of my class. I even like won the superlative like most artsy, but I turned that down because I could only have one superlative. Oh, never mind, that's too much. I won the superlative like most artsy. I was a very artsy kid, but I really only had one friend in high school. I'm still friends with her now. She's like my only friend when I'm back from college. Hi Elizabeth, shout out Elizabeth. But yeah, at high school I was just kind of lameo. But I put myself out there only in the sense of I would do anything to work on art. I took so much advantage of my school's funding for the arts because I was very privileged to have a school that really believed in the arts and wanted kids to pursue anything, and that included the arts. So they would just fund, I mean, they would fund basically anything. And I was very privileged to have just like, I never had to worry about resources really. But even with everything I was doing that the school provided me or offered me, which was like, I did the school newspaper, I did the set design for the musicals and plays, I took every AP art and 2D art and 3D art class that I could. I mean, I did everything, and even with that, I went above and I made my school's art club with my best friend Elizabeth just to continue to do as much art as I could in the time that I had in high school. And it's not like I only did art because my school requires people to do after school sports, and I was doing like rigorous courses because they really believed in building just like a good resume to be well-rounded to apply for colleges. So every time I would choose to do something for my art, I was adding work on top of my already busy school schedule. Like I would take summer school classes just to free up schedule space to then take art classes during the school year. That's how badly I wanted to do art. And I think that's helped a ton during my transition into art school because it's helped me see art as a commitment and a sacrifice that I need to make to other things in my life, and it is part of my work. It is part of just my life. Like I am so desperate to just be doing art that I will sacrifice sleep. I will sacrifice like hanging out with people. I know in my life my art is my priority always. And I think that's a fairly good mentality. Maybe less like a little healthier of a mentality would be good. But I feel like if you feel that way towards your art, where you would work until 11 p.m. just to make sure that you get to do art that night, that is what you need to be doing, or not need to be doing. That's how you need to be feeling before committing to making art for the rest of your life. On like a professional level, at least that is. That's how I feel, at least. Don't take this with a grain of salt, okay? Please. But I also in high school was just constantly drawing. Like all of my notes, all of my tests, all of my quizzes and homework assignments would have the margins filled with art because if I was working something out, I would just be drawing alongside of thinking, alongside of equating math. I was really bad at math, but I took pre-cal and I was just constantly drawing even while trying to learn. Like it was like I had to draw to breathe. That's how it feels basically. And that sounds kind of pretentious, but like I'm sure someone watching this feels the exact same way, and just know it's a shared feeling. We relate. But it's a really good mentality to just have going into art school because there were times where some of my peers just couldn't get themselves to draw every day, And I've been very fortunate to just have it so instinctively where it's not even like, am I going to draw today? It's like, what do I have time to draw today? Because if I'm not drawing for class, I'm drawing for myself. If I'm not drawing for myself, I'm drawing for fan art or something. It's never, can I draw? It's what will I draw? Because even if I'm not feeling something, I just put it aside and work on something else because I always have the need to draw. I mean, obviously I have burnout, of course, and I get like tired physically and mentally, but even in those times where I feel I can't really draw, I'm still thinking of drawing, I'm still planning things to draw for the future for when I'm back up and ready, you know? I hope that makes sense, and I hope someone else feels that way. But yeah, this study right here actually are my OCs, and I want to do just a face angle study with them before I go back to class because this semester is just a project for video game design, and I will be in charge, for my group at least, for doing like the character design. And I feel like turnarounds and this kind of concept, or not concept, professionally developed like stage of character design will be important and most of what I'm drawing this semester. So that's what I did for this study. It took like the longest, I think, out of everything, just because I really wanted to get these characters' faces down. But yeah, I leave to go back to school tomorrow. So I will be on a plane and the buses for 2 days. So I may be a bit behind on art studies for next week because I will be severely jet lagged because I am flying from America to the UK. So it's a 6-hour time difference. Maybe a bit janky. My art studies may look a bit lopsided, you guys, next week. But also, my last video did so well, and it really scared me. It was, like, really jarring to, like, see so many people, be affected and, like, not touched, be, like, seen through what I say, which is crazy because half the time I don't really know what I'm saying, but I'm glad some people felt something from it, so thanks you guys for those comments. I feel really inspired to actually keep this up. I was kind of teetering for a second, but this has actually been really helpful to just have something to commit to every day. You know, this is fun. This is very fun. And I do just want to say to everybody that's in high school right now who probably felt how I felt, where it's just impossible to see yourself outside of high school because it feels like that's been your entire world for 2-3 years and it just like you're stuck there. It does get better. You do get out. I feel like the only way you can really be out of high school is to graduate, because an education is a source of freedom and it is something that should not be taken advantage of. Even if you aren't going to use everything you learn, you still need to try. I still think you should try because it builds discipline and it builds a sense of self that you will and truly need. Like, I loved English and I loved putting myself into English, even though nowadays I would never write an essay. I still think classes like that just like reach you in a way that even art can't, because art is something I've tied myself to. So having been able to devote myself to other things in high school is something I do greatly miss, just because it's a way to like step outside yourself for just at least a little second. So yeah, take advantage of high school and being forced to take classes that you feel are pointless to what you want to do in the future, because I did, and I think it's been like made a complete difference. But yeah, I still need to pack for my flight tomorrow, and I need to finish watching My Hero Academia with my brother, because we're almost done with the series and we want to finish it all tonight so that he's not left on like a cliffhanger before I leave for school for like an indefinite amount of time, like 4 months. So yeah, enjoy this last study and I'll see y'all next week. Bye!